So I need to repeat this because a minute ago I forgot to turn on the video. Sorry about that. I just went to record this. For those who are not here and for everybody else who wants to review this. Oh, of course, I got a different number. Oh, a different problem, of course. Okay, so negative 35 less than a number. It's x minus minus or x plus 35. This one was 38 is 7 less than three times a number. 5 more than 9 times a number. 5 more than 9 times a number.
9 times to x plus 5?
Yes. 9x plus 5 it is. Triple the sum, so triple the sum of a number and 3 is the same as 6 more than the number. This sounds difficult. Let's start again. Triple the sum of a number and 3.
3 parentheses x plus 3 and close parentheses equals 6 plus x.
Very good. So let's one more time read this. The triple of the sum of a number and 3 is the same as 6 more than that number. Do we need to solve this one or not? I mean, do we want to? We're not asked to. Okay. Okay, too simple. The value of a share of IBM on that day was this, more than the value of a share of AT&T stock. Use X to represent the unknown value. Write an algebraic expression for each of the quantities being compared. So the value of a share on that day was 82.50 more than the value of AT&T. So IBM, we can use X, and for AT&T we can use Y. So IBM is X and AT&T is Y. So we are told the value of a share of IBM was 82.50 more than the value of a share of AT&T. Use X to represent the unknown value. Write an algebraic expression for each of the quantities being compared. And again, it said 82.50. So how do I write this equation?
Y equals x plus 82.5.
But this is X. So X was 82.5 plus Y. Good. So if X represents the unknown value, it says the value of a share on that day was this more than the other. So one of these has to be X. So one is X and the other one will be, or if this is Y, then the other one will be 82.5 plus Y. Since they're asking us to use X, so you have to be careful here because the way we wrote it for us, Y is the AT&T. So I'll put here, because they want us to use X, I have to use X. Okay, so that's our X. Just make sure that they accept x. And then this one will be the x plus 82.5. So careful. 82.5. So if x is the y in our example, maybe I should write it again. Let me write it again. So based on, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So I should write that this is y and this is x. So this is y and this is x, according to what they are telling us. Although it doesn't matter. You can always go back and rewrite it. It has to accept it. So if IBM is y, then y is x plus 82.5. So that's why I put the value of the share of IBM stock is x plus 82.5, and then x is the other one. It doesn't matter, but you cannot use y. So this is the only issue. You cannot use y because it says use x to represent the unknown. That's why I had to change the variables. The length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than triple the width. So for a rectangle, as we know, this is the length, and the width, and the width. I think we got the picture and we can move on, but let's also work on this one. And it says the length is 5 inches more than triple the width. The length is 5 inches more than triple the width. How do I write this equation?
Length equals 3w plus 5.
But careful, we use the regular notation, length and width, but they may ask us to use x, la la la. So careful. Okay, this is basically the same thing. Okay, the same thing 5 times. Okay, the same thing. Of course, if you find something that we have not seen in class, please bring it to class on Tuesday. Always, that's always the case. That's why I'm begging you to do the work. Yes, let's work on this one. A total of $77,000 is to be invested, some in bonds and some in CDs. So this is what I picture immediately. 77,000, some in bonds and some in CDs. The amount, if this is x and this is y, what I know for sure is that x plus y has to equal 77,000. This is carved in stone.
Yes.
And this is what I learned from the very first sentence. Okay, let's move on. Then, if the amount invested in bonds, which is x, is to be expected that in CDs by 7,000, is to exceed, I'm sorry. If the amount invested in bonds is to exceed that in CDs by 7,000, how much will be invested in each? So the amount x exceeds the amount y by 7,000. X exceeds y by 7,000. How do I write that?
X equals y plus 7,000.
Yes, absolutely. X equals y plus 7,000. We are using substitution again, or replacement. What am I replacing? I am replacing this by y plus 7,000 because it's the same. I'm told that x or y plus 7,000 are the same. In here, I will have y plus 7,000 plus y equals 77,000. I needed to form or come up with an equation with one variable. This is the only one I can solve. So let's solve for y and see what we get.
Yeah.
So we have the 2y plus 7,000 equals 77,000. Of course, I have to get rid of 7,000. Moving it to the other side, it only changes its sign. So we have 70,000. Yes, and we divide. Perfect. 35. Good. If y is 35, how much is x? 42,000. If the sum is not 77,000, I know something is wrong. I have to go back to the drawing board. But the sum is 77,000. Any questions? Okay, so let's take a look at some two angles whose sum is 180 are called supplementary angles. Find the measure of the supplementary angle shown in the figure. So, is there an equation that you would write immediately?
Yes.
Yes. Which equation we have to write?
So 180 plus or equals parentheses 15x plus 4 enclosed time or plus 10x plus 1.
Good. It's perfect what you said. Since everything was positive, since everything was added, I did not copy the parentheses. It's not incorrect to copy them, but you have to get rid of them afterwards. We have to combine like terms. So that's 25x and plus 5. Oh, I'm sorry, plus 6. I'm not sure what I'm doing.
Plus 5.
Of course it's 5. Good. So this is 180. Perfect. Of course, we have to get rid of 5, so we get 175 equals 25x. Of course, we have to divide by 25, and we have what? Is it 7? Good. So x is 7. Now, we have to find those two angles. This is one angle, and this is the other. 7 times 10 is 70 plus 1 is 71. You can either say 7 times 15 plus 4, or from 180 degrees, subtract 71. And you get 109. Let's check. 7 times 15, 105 plus 4, 109. They have to add up to 180. So let's see how they were pictured. Okay, so we have on this side, this angle was the first one, the big one. So this is 109 degrees, and this one is 71 degrees. Good. Find the value of x and then identify the measure of each angle. Is it something we want to work on? Please say yes, or we move on. It's the same type of problem we just looked at. Let's see. Consider the following two figures. Use these figures to answer parts A through D below. Solve the measure of the unknown angle in figure A. So we have x plus 2x plus 66. Let's solve this one. So we have a triangle in which we have x, 2x, and then 66. What would you write to solve for x and determine all angles? Or we have one angle, but we want to determine the other two. What equation would you create and solve?
180 equals 3x plus 66.
Yes, x plus 2x plus 66. Indeed, 180 equals 3x plus 66. We have to move 66, changing its sign to the other side. So we have 3x equals, is it 114?
Yes.
Okay, so then x equals 114, and it's not divisible by 3. Good. So if x is 114 divided by 3, whatever degrees that means, then 2x will be 228 divided by 3. So yes, we can approximate, but this angle is 114 divided by 3 degrees. This angle is 228 divided by 3, and this angle is 66. I think we can move on from this topic. What do you think? I think we beat it to the ground. Okay. Does anyone need more examples? Are we okay with this? Okay, so let's move on to percent. That's our next topic in 3.4. Okay, I'm on page 7, and this is 3.4. Percent. Good, so let's analyze. So convert percents to decimals and decimals to percent. That's very important. Convert percents to fractions and fraction to percent. Write percent problems as equations, fine. Solve percent problems using the equation method, yes. And solve problems involving percent, fine. Wonderful. So let's discuss this first before we look at anything. When we are told that an interest rate, for example, is 3.5% per year, what does this mean? How can I change this into a decimal number? Well, 3.5% really means 3.5 divided by 100. So percent refers to division by 100. Now, if you remember, we said no decimal numbers in the final or in fractions. So I need to multiply the top and the bottom by 10. So this will be 35 divided by 1,000. And then I'll simplify by 5. And I get 7 divided by 200. 35 divided by 5, I get 7. And 1,000 divided by 5, I get 200. So 35% is identical with the fraction 7 over 200. And also identical with the following decimal number. I move the decimal point 2 spots to the left. Why 2? Because I have 2 zeros. 1, 2, 0.035. So all these three are identical when we say the interest rate is 3.5%, or we say 0.035, or we say 7 over 200. All these are exactly the same value. So if I'm given the percent, I can change it to a decimal number, and I can also change it into a fraction. What if I am given a fraction or a decimal number? How do I change it into percent? So here's an example. Let's say I have 1/4. I know what 1/4 is. 1/4 is 0.25. It's a quarter. Oh, how do I change this into percent? I move the decimal point to the right 2 spots. And this is nothing else but 25%. So from a fraction, I get the decimal number. And all I need to do is move the decimal point 2 spots to the other side, to the right, not to the left. Here I had to move it to the left to get this. Here I have to move it to the right to get to change the decimal number into a percent. Okay? I want to go directly to, let's see, what type of questions we encounter here, and then move on to conversion.